All right, welcome to the first underground group target that we're really doing a project debrief on. The underground is our super secret Discord that we're not allowed to mention or talk about, and we're definitely not going to release this or talk about it at all, which is exactly what we're doing. And the whole thing was kind of started to, put targets out there that are fun, and then we can organically do stuff. But we've started to think like let's, like really plan like a monthly group project. So David Powell and I, we were talking about doing this target that we have not too long ago. Not the exact target, but the concept of viewing something ahead of time in terms of this. Let me pull up the feedback here and share my screen. So the target that everybody viewed was, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Was to describe the main conflict or challenge Moana faces in the upcoming Moana 2 movie. So this is probably the most complex target that I could possibly think of to throw you guys. It's future predictive, it's digital, it's conceptual. Like you really don't know what's going to be in it. It's not just like one gestalt, it's all these different gestalts. There's magic and mysticism and weird stuff. I mean, like this was an absolute banger. And I wasn't really sure how it was going to go, but we all kind of tell the exact same story. And David, before we started the recording, you were just mentioning the thing about, like where does like the Moana thing link in? It's my daughter who's 18 months old, her favorite movie. She watches Moana every single day, so she's going to be absolutely stoked for Moana too. And I was wondering, like, could we, as the underground, spoil movies ahead of time? That's what you and I were talking about. Is how do we go through and like spoil anything that's coming out in Hollywood before it gets released and do some of that? So the way I was hoping we could structure this is I really like to do since I do like my recordings and then I do that, I usually structure it as like I tell the summary first and then share session data. So I was thinking what we could do is we could kind of all talk about what we think Moana 2 is going to be for a little bit. And then each of one of us can probably have like 5 to 10 minutes to share our actual session data. Except for David, you probably get way more time because you put us all to shame in the amount of work that you put into it. And I mean that's setting an example for what I want to do next time when I do one of your targets. So let me stop sharing. What do you all think's gonna happen in Moana 2? Anybody want to go first?
If I'm drawing from memory here, um, I have seen the first movie, but I again drawing from memory, I felt like knowing what the feedback is now, there may be some involvement of like some new way to navigate, or maybe some new boats or something. There was all this energetic stuff on the island. Trying to think of because I often I clay modeled this triangle at the time. I thought it was just a non-surface structure. I mean, the target was so it was so hard to navigate it. Like I don't know what this is, but anyway. But I get a sense maybe there's something in the way of maybe a new way to, like, maybe they're expanding their horizons as far as going to different islands, maybe like a new, like I said, a new boat. I think they're going to encounter some kind of a new foe or pirates or something like that. That's my guess.
That's perfect. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk more about in my session, but I definitely got those triangle shaped structures also. But definitely I am in the end of the session, I got this conflict, tension, destructive force, and AOL war, uh, physical war kind of like ramping up, and naive thoughts from an individual connected to this target with traveling and gathering people, and some naivety connected to that. But I'm gonna talk more about it in my session. But definitely high tension and conflict.
Every time a session rolled in and I saw those elements, huge smile broke out on my face just because I was like, man, everyone's nailing it. So really excited. Anyone else? I will give a quick summary then of what I think everyone's describing. I think a couple people described islands and water and travel, and there's some sort of sense of like high technology, so new types of things that we'll see, uh, as you were saying, David, like new ships or something. You had like a triangle craft in the sky that we were talking about. Seems to be that something triangular is kind of in there. I know that Maui shape shifts into various forms and he flies and stuff, but maybe there's other things there. The other elements that I saw was there's some sort of structured building component that is suppressed. So it's like underground. And I wasn't gonna view it, or I was gonna view it front loaded, and I was in the shower and my whole vision just like completely went away. And all I was seeing was freaking Moana while I'm trying to shower. So I came up here, I was like, I'll let it get out. And that's what my session I'll share is. But I basically had something about going underground to like a volcano and there being a vortex, and then there's this whole labyrinth of things that have to be challenged and solved and stuff. And when Orion Remote View Mysteries data came in, that was very similar. Jeff, you also had the structure thing component in there as well. I think somebody else had it. And there's some sort of healing element or these challenges that we face. And another thing is there's the female presence, but there also seems to be some sort of male presence. And that was one of the big predictions that I have is that in the original one, it was Moana and Maui. And in this new one, I think there may be like a new male character or like a love interest. That would be quite interesting if we saw that because that was not an element of the first one. So. Awesome. Does anybody have to drop off early? We can start with your session data.
Maybe I should, in case I have to go back to sleep. I
Yeah,
only got 3 hours. I don't know, so it's
sounds
kind of
good.
rough on the midnight guy. But I'll probably stick around anyway. I don't know.
Cool.
Is that
I do have your screens here. Do you want me to the screen share 'em?
is it on? I don't know.
I can screen sharing right now for you. Sound good?
Okay, cool. Yep.
Cool.
So I guess I'll just go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
take it away.
So let's see here. So I've got like a bastardized version of CRV that I use, and it's just kind of sloppy and free flowing. But uh, the main theme through the whole thing was like it had like heavy religious overtones the way I interpreted it, and it seemed to be like a flowing story. Later on, I wrote Stations of the Cross and stuff. But when I started, there's a little bit about a building. It said building blocks, national monument, stone derivative. Lumped together, joined, structure, and then I started having feelings like Turkish. And then it says, I'm not sure, pronounced merchants, wine, mission, turgid, analytic overlay of an open air Arab market, a Turkish bazaar, and Jesus at the time of crucifixion. So there's a lot of people in robes and a lot of stuff moving along like that. I don't know if that's Polynesian, how I interpreted it, and it was as Arab, but you move to the next screen.
I see like the same elements of open air areas and kind of let
There's a lot
or yeah.
a lot happening.
Hmm.
It was like go to the next screen. I think I said more about it being like yeah, like the Hajj. Like it was just like people like flowing clothing, white robes. There's a lot of people moving around and doing a lot of stuff like that. Let's just say Shanty Town is another thing that came to mind. Um, and just clothes, robes, that whole general kind of like feel like that. Next. And let's see, more heavy religious imagery, Jesus washing Mary's feet, and then uh, fossils, apostles, clean, storage, wagon. Um, sure, sloppy writing when I'm in it. But the most interesting part I had here was the carried broken clay pots, which I thought was interesting. Do you have those pictures that I'd sent you, the screenshots?
Maybe
Um,
not.
from the trailer, there's she's
Oh,
carrying these broken clay pots, and
yeah.
that's prominent there, and a purple sash and robes, and again this whole robe flowing clothing kind of thing. Um,
I also had
and
the those purple ropes. One thing to clarify too, I guess there was a trailer released originally, and they didn't really reveal much apparently. I may or may not have seen it. I definitely nobody else here who was all blind saw it. But then Orion found that Disney Ireland had released that additional trailer that revealed more. to it. And I think that's where the clay pots was revealed, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Stations of the Cross. One thing I didn't write that was that came to mind was what was it? Hero's Journey. That whole feeling of like going through these different stages or whatever. Hero's Journey, which would have been interesting. I should have wrote it. I didn't. Um, uh, Aesthetic impacts: grand, fulsome, projecting, marching, organization, joyous exclamations, most holy on high, rise above, leadership, sunken hearts play along, kingly, princely, removed from head, a crown, mired in filth, a tomb, and I'm not sure what that says.
The tomb one I found interesting along with all like the king imagery, because that's something that implies, like some sort of underground situation.
Hmm? Next. Let's see. Shouting, horse-drawn, blood-streaked, Nile River, uh, imprisoned, jealous, selfish, basket case, treacherous, alone, cold, middle, inhospitable, torment, unkempt. And then the summary, basically the main feelings I had were the crowds moving in unison, the heavy religious overtones. It felt old, Arab style clothing, high energy, joyous, feverment, and zealotry. Um, that's pretty much what I got. But the most interesting part was the carried clay pots. I don't know if that's a crucial part of it, but there's the part, I don't know why she does that.
I think that's the first hit of many for you.
Yeah,
Let's be
uh,
fun.
we'll see. But yeah, I don't know if I just interpreted it in a religious way. I don't normally write stuff about religion, so it was interesting.
Can I just say, Orion, great job. And what I find fascinating, Dave, already is I'm seeing he's pulling tangibles out that are tangibles in the movie
Yeah.
that don't really exist. You know what I'm saying? Is that wild or
They
what? When you
literally
think
don't
about it like
exist.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's pulling them out as if they do, as if the target were based in reality. It's wild. Just
It's
want to
Yeah.
bizarre.
great job.
Thank you.
Well, great work, dude. Anything else you want to add before we
I don't
move
think
on?
so. It was fun. I like the opportunity to do this, so thank you.
I, I think you knocked it out of the park, especially for how complicated this target is.
It's just the interpretation. I don't know. It wasn't Arab, it was Polynesian. But
Oh, that was the thing that I was going to mention. I don't know if you've seen Moana, but it's about like their ancestors and the way that they were as people, their culture, all of that. And it is kind of intertwined with spirituality in a way, especially because they're talking about gods and demons and all these aspects that are in it. So I definitely think
that's
that's a
cool.
component of
Yeah, I've
Moana.
never seen it. I really wish I'd written Hero's Journey because that was but oh well.
They definitely use the hero's journey probably in the writing. Who would like to go next? Anybody else have to drop off early?
I can go next. I think I might need to go in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on.
Perfect.
Okay, I wish I did a longer session, but I've been so sick, taking morphine and antibiotics and aspirin and stuff. I'm feeling a lot better now, but when this project came up, I felt I need to do this. So fun. But well, okay. At the start, I got these several parts. High energy. I wrote human energy, which is kind of like living energy. Different parts. So I went to the most high energetic parts of it. I got this event kind of energy also. And what popped up was a face. This is the face I drew, and it was covered. It looked like goggles, but I'm not sure. It was like something covering the face with a flash color orange for a second, and AOL pilot, AOL sanitation, just what popped up in my mind. But it was a face that was covered with something round around the eyes, big stuff. And later on, I got the sentence catching, the purpose of getting it. I got a sentence, sun goes down, and something chemical. And I got this man-made structure, triangular, big. Got important feeling about this. It's relevant to the target. And I got a round-shaped, man-made thing that reminded me of a rusty water wheel in the water spinning around. We can go to the next page. And I got this triangular man-made structure again, and then I got a more rectangular one, and I got this inward moving pressure feeling. There's a pressure in these buildings, and got the AOL of a city. There are buildings near each other, and I asked, what's the purpose with these buildings? And got that it's like something temporary. So I wrote temporary housing. And I got this human individual energy, and I wanted to go into that and get the look at the face, and I got this blonde-haired, short-haired male. And trying to get a concept or idea of what all this is about, and I got like it's the purpose of this event or thing is to collect, gather, and move away and save what you have got, save the catch, and recycle in order to make it work. And I did a quick ideogram and felt like there's an important part of this of wanting the need to take over, to conquer, and keep other people away. So direct IOL was a fight and a battle. And we can move on to the next page. And I got this organizer individual that also is naive in a way, but is converging and organizing others and wanting them to do something for a bigger purpose kind of thing. And it felt destructive because of this naivety from the individual, that it's maybe too much to wish for because it's dangerous. And I got this need to travel, wants to travel to accomplish. And it felt a little bit naive when I went into those thoughts. And yeah, I wished I did a longer session, but I had so much pain and couldn't go on for a long time.
Regardless, I think you had a ton of great elements and it overlays with what everybody else got as well. Nice work.
Can I say, Arman, I thought it was a great job, but also early on, Dave, I don't know if you recognize this, but his sketch with the guy with the glasses, it looks to me just like the little, the mask guys in the first one or whatever. You know what I'm talking about? That's got to be what that is. To me, I mean, that would be my guess.
I think they make another appearance too, based off of the Ireland video that they leaked. I think it's there.
Arman, have you seen the first one?
That's a great hit.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, if you see the first one, there's these little guys and they look just like that. They're like a bunch of little native guys with spears. They have masks on and they're little and they got like black eyes. They look just like that.
Okay, interesting.
So great job, buddy.
Thank you.
Phenomenal. Next up, who would like to go? Kyle.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I wasn't sure. Okay, awesome. Okay, so this actually took me 3 days.
Wow.
3-day break. I started right before I went on vacation. And it was so fun, I kind of got lost in it. And I forgot to write stuff down, so I had to retask it to myself. But then 3 days went by, and then it took 2 sessions. So it took 3 sessions altogether. It was so fun, I kept wanting to go back. It felt animated. So anyway, so I first start, we can go past that. I did the ideogram. And so I kind of put both sessions together. I won't go through the boring part of breaking down the times and stuff, but so I felt a lot of like echoes. If I felt so at first I kept hearing voice saying you can go inside. So like I felt like I was going inside like a pyramid, but it felt like a red carpet event. It felt like a movie premiere. I didn't write that down, but it felt like going into something, but like there was like fire on the walls, right? Like caves and hallways, like maybe what a movie would premiere would look like in the olden days. Like a lot of like trickery outside, like juggling and fun stuff. And then like kids writing on walls with their fingers. It was actually really fun. So
That writing on the walls and caves and stuff, that is a lot like the little petroglyphs that they showed on the clay pot. And I bet that's in the walls of a cave of the movie as well.
and like a lot of the symbol so the sensory stuff like burnt tongue, I don't really know, I don't remember where that came from or really what it meant. I felt like there was tears, a lot of tears involved. Not happy or sad, just tears. Like I couldn't sense whether it was happy or sad or like pain, just that it was there. So
This word here in dimensions, 3D,
yeah.
that I mean, usually like, yeah, like we're working with 3D targets. So the fact that you would write 3D though, that had me.
Like I felt like you could walk in and out. Like the target was like both inside and outside. And like I kept hearing a voice like allowing me, you can go inside. And like I literally could go inside. And yeah, it was very cool. So and I actually wrote that down, it turns out. So that long path in is like it was like narrow. It kept like it reminded me of like a garage, like a parking garage. You know how like it's short and you don't think you're gonna make it in, but like and then it like leads you down somewhere. And that's kind of what like looks like a red carpet or like a runner, like guiding people that way. So that's what that was. And then that part looked like it was like in a basement. It was kind of actually creepy, like a vent or like a net, like meshing, and like you're passing things through or like rods. It was kind of weird. It was hard to interpret, but like it was like almost like if you would pass something to like if you were in prison downstairs somewhere, like that.
What
So,
was the mirrored piece?
like a source of light, like something that like would catch your attention, like it was shining the light on them passing stuff, like it was showing, but like conceptually, I guess. I don't know.
Perfect. I'm wondering if that's the entrance to the building thing that we're all talking about that's underground, right? Like, is this that scene? Could be.
There was light though, like it was like a source of light, but also a burst of reflection at the same time for whoever was down there, maybe like or whatever kind of like bringing light old times that were secret or like hidden. I don't know. And then yeah, pyramids, like got a lot of pyramid or like a clay structure, natural. Hand on a rope or like a stick. That image was very clear and it was 3D, like neon green. That was cool. It reminded me of like an energy bar type thing. So, and then what looks like kind of like a UFO, it wasn't. It actually reminded me of like a circus tent, like stretched fabric, like yellow, but like above, like I couldn't really tell. So
this entrance at the bottom of a pyramid, right?
Yeah.
Like lots of pyramidal mountain structures with some sort of entrance at the bottom. I had the same thing. Yeah, this is great. This is so cool.
And then I think this is when I came back to it. It was much more vivid the second and third session. Just basically like being able to go downstairs and there's like echoey hallways, like you're underground. A lot of like symbolism, like a big guy or a guy holding a drum, stick figure. I describe like that was like a neon sign, like that A at the bottom, like that was like came through pretty clear, like neon green.
This drum thing, I'm confident that that's going to be in it. Because isn't that like Moana? Like in the first one, she bangs the drum to get the history started. This has to be a component. It has to. What was that?
I've never seen Moana.
Oh, you're about to.
Yeah.
And this thing where it, I mean, to me, that's looks like it's descending. It's dark. There's stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible.
And then my summary, basically a tiered structure that is neutral coloring and made of natural elements and materials. The structure had a grand profile ceiling and rectangular in shape, has an open concept and large rug or runner guides visitors in and to the right. Corridors, longer hallways line the outside. Place had different purposes through time. Gathering of people, waiters, or party tricks once occurred here, much like a flipping coins. There's symbols on the walls, drawing like finger paints, a man with a drum.
I bet if we typed this up and we tossed it to AI and said, does this accurately describe the movie Moana? Like just as is already, it'd probably say yeah.
That's awesome. If anybody wants to do that, I would be very welcome to that.
Awesome session. Any other comments?
I think there's a few more pages.
Oh, oops, my bad.
Okay. Okay, so it's similar to Choose Your Own Adventure. The structure and events are similar yet culturally different. There's a basement underground aspect to this event-like object where you could pass things through. Mechanical arms and a hot room is AOL. It kind of reminded me of like, I don't know if you guys know what a hot room is, but like nuclear waste, like hot, like I don't know. It was AOL though, but it was dark and musty in session.
The similar yet culturally different. The thing that I got in my thing was that they're gonna break off and go to some other thing and try and like unite all of the Polynesian cultures and the islands together. And I was wondering if that is basically saying that, you know, like we're similar, but there's been this separation, right? Where it's close enough, but there's still like some sort of cultural differences that are seen. There's some adventure in there.
Yeah, it was very fun. I didn't want to end it actually. So
Well, you can go back, just front loaded. So
thank you.
anybody
Great
got
job.
any big comments? Yeah.
I'm so blown away that we're remote viewing animation and our subconscious is still queuing things up as if it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like the tangibles are actually. It's just it's weird. It makes me wonder, like if we perceive reality in this certain way, or if our something within us is queuing up these impressions in order for us to interpret the information. It's just it's wild. It's almost like as if it exists in reality somehow.
It is bizarre. Yeah.
Great job, Kyle.
Thank you.
Sessions are awesome. Jeff, you want to go next? Jeff. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure I did that video that showed the hospital with the guy on top running back and forth, warning me to stay away. And then the the box on top of the hospital, which I interpreted as the soul harvester with the energy tube going down. Now, I didn't spend a lot of time on this, but listening to your guys' description of walking through underground and the box there that you see on top of the basically the soul harvester machine, to me it feels like, now that listening to you guys, it really feels like old ones or gods or ancestors or people, a lot of people that are involved with the people in that building. So I don't think a lot of my data has a lot to do with the movie, because I am pretty hung up on this soul harvester and this building and the 5 people inside. But the guy on top, to me, stood out, kept warning me away. And that was the strangest. Yeah, that was the strangest thing. To see the 5 people walking around on the inside and to have this one guy on top warning me away. The dimensional aspect, the old gods aspect is there. It's just, it was all overlaid with, some of my current views. So I'm thinking a lot of my stuff is not very, relevant to this. It's interesting to see my overlap on it. It's just, yeah, I'm a little bit off here.
I think there's that layer of conscious interference where you say like medical building, but then if you deconstruct that, like what does that mean? It's some sort of, there's a structure that's tiered that is underneath people, right? That has some sort of healing aspect. And in order for the hero's journey to happen, there has to be the conflict, then there has to be some sort of healing. And I think in the concept of Moana, we're talking about generational healing, right? Healing these very old wounds. And
Right.
Mhm.
It was just, and you're right. And if you look at all the aspects of it and how it all kind of works together, it's just that at that time when I was doing this, it really felt strong of, I was looking at something completely different. Now, I was trying to form a picture of what I was seeing, and that picture came through, my overlay just came through really strong.
Well, I see you have this 4-dimensional hypercube. You have this vortex thing going down to the structure, which is kind of the same elements that everybody else has been discussing. The Soul Harvester is interesting because I do feel like there's lots of elements with that inside of Disney movies anyway, which hints at the whole prison planet stuff. And then I was going to ask about this symbol for the dimensional. Is that an energy one that you have?
That's just the ideogram for. I've got an ideogram for
The
power.
energy?
Yeah, those are my 4 ideograms for dimensional, power, people, and building, and that's my ideogram for dimensional. So
in the first one, they had the heart of, well, I should know this by now. Tafidi, I think it is. And it's a stone that has a triskelion, which is used by like the Oregon people for energy transference and stuff, right? And I mean, that looks so much like that. There's the whole spiral aspect to it. And then you kind of like continue that with this. So I don't know. I think there's stuff here. We'll watch the movie together and have a good time. And yeah, nice work. Core group of people, directed, in the shadows, bright future, clean, strong.
oh, this is when this is my timeline. I'm trying to figure out what was going on. Got it.
This is great.
I was really trying to look at the different parts of the timeline to figure out, you know, what each part had. Of course, I'm definitely off on a lot of it, but again, it's just it wasn't to me. It wasn't. I didn't spend enough time on it. I really didn't.
I see all the elements of what we think is going to happen there, especially that you've got some sort of timeline of events and people and structures and weird energy stuff. So
Oh,
I'm still
well,
excited.
one of the things about this though is this is a movie, and why I didn't pick up on the fact that this is, I guess this would be like remote viewing Batman. Why can't I pick up on the fact that my target is more of a concept than an actual? Because, you know, when I looked at my manage yesterday, is this a concept or is this an actual? Am I looking at a gestalt of everybody's imagination, or am I looking at an actual being? I mean, I know what I looked at, but I don't know. And the same with this is how can I tell that this is actually not an actual? It's more of a concept. So I'm looking at a timeline of a concept. How do I tell? These are questions that bug me because I don't want to be wrong on what I do. I don't know how to answer them.
Just to kind of flavor the discussion and stuff, the way that I work is with that 3D proprioceptive space there. And then sometimes I get that it's conceptual. I think I did that for you, Dave, one time, right? Where it was the concept of the thing that we were talking about, but there wasn't a specific instance, right? So it's like if you said driving to the store, but there isn't like a real instance of driving to the store. There's kind of this like weird feeling that you can't describe. You kind of just have to go hit it and then see that we're not talking about something tangible.
Yeah, and
Usually
I
when
would
I put my hands out to interact with it, it's like there, but it's not there.
So it's a
yeah,
feeling.
Hmm.
I would say, Jeff, I just want to just add, you know, that whole thing with the soul or the harvesting or all that. There is this, you know, she talks to ghosts and stuff in the movie. I mean, we don't know how much of that's going to be in there. You know, that there may be some element, some spiritual element in there that goes in some direction we haven't seen yet. We don't know yet. But I just want to say, from my own perspective, this was an incredibly hard target to navigate. I mean, because from my perspective, I could pick up because it's conceptual. I was picking up pieces and pieces and pieces, but when I go to put them together, it was either too complex. I don't know. I struggle with it, but like I said, it's one of the harder targets I've ever done. So I think you did pretty good considering, you know, what the target was. I just want to say that.
It was an interesting target. It's just I got hung up and I diverted myself with my own imagination. Um, it's going to be I'm going to have to watch Mona too. So I do like I like the little guys with the little spears and yeah.
Maybe we can
And the
watch
bit
party it.
oh yeah, that'd be cool, man. I'll make the popcorn.
Awesome.
Lots of popcorn. So
Okay, I'll try and be quick here, guys. Yeah, just going through basic. Okay, AOL break and obelisk. Just your basic stage twos. Getting a sense of a structure like concrete. Okay, I feel a sense of assembly is my first AI. Just like people coming together would be my. You can go on, dude.
And you did this at like peak hurricane time, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is awesome.
So I don't. I'm getting bipedal instrumentation, meaning something. My guess would be something that could be. And I would guess maybe this is the boat or something, but I'm guessing something that could be worked with hands and feet. That would be my guess.
Looked very boaty.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like something's in motion there. Yeah, I'm getting a sense like building something. AI break, a sense of craftsmanship. I get a sense like people are building something. AOL like a weighted system, and the idea of an average build.
The sense of craftsmanship is
Craftsmanship,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this was. This is just like
It kind of looks like the edge of Earth, doesn't it?
Yeah,
With something going up.
That's what I would guess. You know, I don't
Yeah.
know. But an AI of bravery. I got it as sense somebody's brave or something.
Doesn't it look like a balloon with the end of the balloon blowing air out?
Yeah, could.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I actually think this next sketch, I could be wrong, is you, Dave, uh, thinking of the idea of the project.
That'd be interesting.
Because like devising a plan. I mean, I could be wrong. It could be somebody in the movie or something. But to me, if my guess would have been that maybe this is picking up on you, like coming up with the idea to do Moana. But I could be wrong.
It could. I've picked up on taskers before as well and commented on it that I'm like, I think this is you tasking it. I think I did that to Sasha one time and David. Yeah.
Okay, I guess the idea of persistence. I had transmogrifier, which is weird. Okay, problematic situation, active conformity. Go ahead.
The oceanic in there. And then remember I mentioned to you
Oh yeah, yeah.
transmogrifier was a technology used to make The Sims. Like
Mhm.
there's this
Yeah, yeah.
thing that you has sprites and stuff in it as well. That was interesting.
Okay, boisterous males, a sense of assimilation. Had the idea this target was like an aggregate target, some kind of strange phenomenon. I get a sense of a timetable related to this idea of prearranged.
Now seeing all these drawings together, those verticals, like the two little vertical things, I swear there's other drawings that show basically that box.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, to me, it was almost, I don't know, like discovering something or finding something. Like he's almost like, hey, check it out. you know? Okay. Yeah. So now I'm in UFO country. It looks like to me, but because I kept getting this angular object. I don't know. I mean, I never like called it that, but I don't know what it was. This could be this thing moving in the water. I really don't know. Um, but I had a sense of descendant or descendants. And I got this idea of hybrid warfare, but my sense would be this is in like the structures that they're using, maybe the boats, maybe they're using balloons, boats, I don't know. Um, and I got the sense of like a reconnaissance and distancing oneself. And then I had an AOL of raising the dead. Oh,
Raising
and they
the
have,
Dead, Pirate
yeah,
Vessel. Yeah,
like rebuilding the Tartarian Empire was in my signal.
that is a
Okay,
cool drawing up there.
more structures. Okay, I get
Add something about your last picture. It
sure.
looks like of a like when you're looking at the back of a boat. Looks like
Oh yeah,
fake.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
A coastal, pneumatics, freedoms. Got the idea of a private engagement doctrine. Um, a timetable. Okay, like several years in the making. I got a sense of a speech. Something about this feels older, isolated. I don't know what this is. Isometric data feed. I have no idea. It was so off the wall, and it came in that way. I just put it in my. Um,
Typhoon.
oh, yeah, and I got Typhoon a lot. I couldn't remember. I don't know what that is. One of the characters named Typhoon, or no, 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 no. I don't know. I don't know if it's relating to some
There
kind
might
of
be a new
weather
one.
thing. Yeah, yeah. I
You
don't
put it
know.
in quotes, does that mean that you heard it? That's what I do when I hear something.
Yeah, yeah.
It's phonetic.
Yeah, yeah. So I stage 5, yeah, Typhoon. Okay, masked soldiers, which again we talked about those little guys with the,
Yep.
yeah, just to exit strategy, distance, attrition, AOL, master race, distance, rebellion, topics, attraction, rebellion, assimilation, information, indoctrination, attrition, instantaneous, allocation, and definitely like there's going to be some kind of a native infringement with another culture or something like that. It's kind of the idea.
That looks like a boat.
Yeah. And I kept getting this sense of travel, like going, you'll see in different sketches, like arrows going in different directions, but getting a sense of a pirate vessel hiding, like a map of the world, highlighted areas. So, again, I've got all these structures like going across the world. Someone's stomping grounds is my signal there. Like someone's stomping grounds. Regulatory. Okay. And again, this guy reminds me like a captain of a ship or something, like just like standing at the bow, fear mongering, cold and calculating, like masking the true nature of something or someone.
Kind of implies hidden motives.
Yeah.
Like spoiler alert, Frozen 1. There's
Mhm.
a male character that had a hidden motive in there.
Well, to me, it could be like they run into like maybe a more less like primitive culture or something at the time, and they some kind of false pretenses possibly, and they turn on them, something like that. Would be my guess, but what does it say? It's like this guy's watching. I got a drowned victim in my AOL. It's like this guy's watching, waiting something to happen. Yeah, he's got like that like grimace of a villain. Go ahead. Oh yeah, this is one where it was like Earth, and I'm getting a sense of like all these different locations.
It
Um,
literally looks like different islands from space.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm.
And I
Yeah.
think I think I had the same thing in mind, but I was unblind. So this is way more cool. I'm gonna zoom in up here just real quick
Earthly
around
treasure,
the
like
globe.
pockets or sensors around the globe, blind spots, dynasties. Is that what that says? I don't know, something in there.
Earthly treasure,
Yeah,
destined for
signal.
greatness.
Yes, destined for greatness. Yeah, and I'm getting this irregular topography, and again, I don't know what this thing is, but this idea of positioning, frequency, and treacherous terrain. Abyss, the movie. It's my AOL signal.
Continuing going down to darkness.
Yeah.
This is cool.
A chance to rebuild, a slave trade agreement, um, an engagement ceremony, a trough or channel, um, like in needs of one's services. I get a sense of descending into darkness. Is that what it was? Yeah. A plague among men.
The sad desperation, emotional impact stuff.
Yeah, I felt like that guy might have been in chains or shackles or something. Which again, we talk about the prison situation. Um, yeah, and I don't know if this is above or if this is underwater or what's going on here. But if I'm just AOL driving or something. But execution, coastal insurrection, behavioral science. Behold, so coastal insurrection.
When I saw this, I was both excited and terrified to tell you that it was just Moana. I was like, he's gonna hate me.
Yeah, and I get this like regimented. This is why again, I feel like maybe they run into like a more less primitive culture, maybe some pirates or something. It's like um, something about natural selection, pontification, like a precursor to a mindset, prospect, like returning from a mission.
Remember in there, I feel like Moana's about remembering our past. And a lot of it is trying to have that generational memory come back.
Mm.
This one.
Yeah, I got all this underground. See, I get a lot of underground bases,
Yeah.
So I probably went off, but um, yeah, I just got the sense of an underground structure or something, people down there.
It looks like a multi-leveled thing. And the way I was kind of describing it is it felt like one of those like Egyptian subterranean things.
Mhm.
And this literally looks like that to me, which is cool.
Yeah, so I'm back up in space again. I'm looking at all these land masses. uh, sleeper cells, cloud dynamics, cloud coverage, spy satellites. It's not right, but weather phenomena. So yeah, I had some of that, some kind of weather, getting kicked up or something.
I think what's cool is these shapes are so unnatural for continents or something. And I think that that's like a hint that this is some sort of cartoonish depiction of the curvature of the earth with islands.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, at the time, I don't know if they were continents or what, but it was clear to me my subconscious was indicating, I'm trying to
Mhm.
point this out for some reason. But again, yeah, I'm getting like one on the left, especially like kind of feels like to me more going through the water. But I get a scrimmage. See again, still experimental aircraft, weapons related, like a micro insurgency, AOL the weather balloon. So it makes me wonder if there is maybe they're doing something. I don't know what. We'll have to see, but. Yeah, criminal command structure.
For being a kids movie, there's really this military leadership theme kind of emerging.
Mm-hmm. So again, this was the picture I was talking about with Silky, like the woman in the headdress or something. I don't know. I feel like she's like wearing like a helmet or something, and she's like looking off in a direction. Access control, dominant force. I'm sensing a mist or vapor here. A quarantine zone. Okay, retinal scanner. Hominid species and an attaché. Like avoiding or getting someone's technology or something. I mean, this is all AOL.
Mm-hmm.
The triangle.
Yeah, a recurring symbol. We all have it in some ways.
Coronal discharge. I feel planetary confinement. Prime meridian. But see, again, like a lot of noise here. Transient energy, pulse. A sense of finesse.
Was this sort of lattice structure? Was that in someone else's session? I feel like it was.
Fear mongering, bravery, and personnel. Go ahead. Yeah. See, again, I'm back in space here. But prearranged, causal, pulse emitting, disharmony. Like a time jump. Like a cause for explosion.
You have the soul thing there as well.
Soul converter technology.
Interesting. I also had
There you go.
I also had a lot of space impressions.
Yeah. And I don't know what that's related. If that's just AOL drive, or if it's relating to the navigation with the stars, who knows? But yeah, mapping, time, convergence, trilateral commission.
Like a time jump.
Yeah.
What if they do have some sort of like jump into the past?
They could do like a montage thing or something, or who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A survival, like canceling each other out, like a mechanism to teach, to grow, to learn. I get a sense of forecasting doom, like an error in confinement, melee in space, withheld, primer.
S5.
Yeah, acceleration, application, observer, installation. Yeah, I keep getting that crap. A lot of noise. This was a tough target for me. Treasonous affair, active rebuke, installation, AOL break, shrouded in mystery.
It can also just be a lens that you're seeing it through. If you're accustomed to these kind of targets, then
Yeah, I mean, usually things I'm just not good. I'm not good at abstract targets either. I mean, I'm very much a put me somewhere and I'll tell you what's there. But, I could tell when I went to whiteboard, I knew something wasn't clicking. I knew it. I declare, I'm like, this is too complex or whatever. But anyway, it is what it is. But I have,
There's Jeff's do not engage and violating an order and going in anyway.
yeah, I mean, like harboring a vessel.
Bastardized culture.
Like
bastardized
a
culture and this together, like that's another theme.
It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder, like when I got that, after I got the feedback, and I'm wondering, like, is this related to like how Disney is interpreting this story, or is it about something within the story against the culture? It'll be interesting to see, but it's just an interesting impression. But yeah, you can go ahead. Caveat: a tunnel system, sense of extraction, morphinogenic.
The doorway portal thing.
Yeah,
That's something I'm looking for. Tunnel system, underground.
Like a burden for someone, annoying. You can go ahead, dude. Yeah, frigid temperatures.
The snow that was mentioned.
AOL break criminal activity and subterfuge. Assembled organic. I feel like something's being built. Go ahead, Dave.
That is the end of those. I also had your whiteboard one here. Don't know why it's not in there. I did have 2 folders for this. Yeah, here's the whiteboard session. The coastal point descendants.
Yeah, it was definitely getting like a directional aspect, like moving to different bodies of land.
Didn't 2 viewers have the circle of space of like a planet?
Well, I had something like I had space impressions and also an impression of, I don't know if it was that balloon, but a round structure.
Mm-hmm. Very reminiscent of what you had, Jeff.
Oh yeah, Jeff. It does, and actually, they had a cross on there too, like almost like a. I felt like it was representative of something. I don't know what.
Oh my! And look, you got six characters down there too, because I
You
saw
had 5 inside and 1 on top, right?
Yeah, I had 6 characters. So there you go. My hair just popped up.
Yeah, the final order. You have a pirate
everything
vessel.
there.
Yeah,
Wow.
safe passage.
That sums it up quite well.
I think that, I mean, again, I wish it didn't carry so much noise of space with it, but
there might be a space element. Maybe they'll.
There might be, but
yeah. Or it feels like space because it's digital and conceptual. When there's a void, like an absence, that's usually go to space.
Now this to me, it reminds me, it's almost like I was like looking at a book and seeing like 2 pages or something, like something happening, or this might be a graphic representation of something that like happens, or they show something, like they go like a montage or something. I don't know, but it's almost like it's showing a planet here, and something changes, or I don't know.
Kyle, did you have the 2 circles in one of your drawings? No.
Oh.
Somebody did.
But maybe you were picking up on it being too.
Didn't Arman have 2 circles?
Armin had 2 circles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Descendants. Again, oceanic came up a lot. Environmental concerns, structural integrity, response. I think I had like a scrimmage or something. I think they,
That looks like an island.
yeah, and
I'm overlaying, so
yeah,
obviously it's my
yeah,
commentary.
yeah. But so I got the sense of avoiding detection at all costs. I mean, and there's this huge guy there. If that's the case,
To pepper mine in, after seeing the trailer for that, I basically had that they show up at a new island and there's some sort of new male character in the thing. And he's the one who's in control of the little pirate people, humanoid things, right? And that he didn't want to be found, essentially. Like there was some sort of
oh,
hidden aspect where he's like, I'm here hiding away from you on purpose.
oh,
What are
okay.
you doing up in my space right now?
Very interesting. Because I got a lot of stealth stuff too, so I wonder if that's correlates. But
Yeah, there's the stealth. It almost looks
changing
like
the card.
somebody formulating and concocting stuff at some sort of work table.
Yeah, feels like somebody in
Mad
charge
scientist.
to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like a drafting board? Or a construction table like you see on all the video games where you have a board laid out and you putting something down or making something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Could be storyboarding the cartoon. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, he's kind of like when I draw people like this sketch, usually it's indication like they're in charge of something, or they're
Kind of for yourself, really, if you look at it. It shows you and you.
It's you at the whiteboard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just keep panning back layer by
Yeah.
layer.
Yeah.
And back to Earth again. A guy like walking up to a boat.
That's definitely gonna happen. This is a cool one.
I don't know what that is. I mean, I don't know what that's supposed to indicate. But
Could be like some sort of floating energy thing, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We're gonna have to see what the spiritual component is of this. So there, yeah. I mean, that's. I definitely had a woman in the back. It's like she's reaching out to the stars, with her hand or something.
This is very scenic. Like I would expect if there was going to be a scene that's very
yeah.
framed and everything. Like it's a show. Show me the most important.
So it would be very interesting to have the show play and be able to stop the movie and actually show these scenes overlaid on, as the show is going or as it stopped.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
That would be
it's gonna pretty
interesting.
wild. It's a great idea for a project.
Thanks. I was wondering if this is a path going into like a domed cavernous structure thing.
Could be.
There's the invitation piece.
It was one of those sessions where I felt like I know there's data here, but I took a wrong turn at some point. I bit out into something that I shouldn't have at some point, and it I couldn't sort it out like I like it, but I did what I could with it. Yeah,
I wasn't sure if that was the space component or if because we technically don't know what's in the story for real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The final order. Underground.
craftsmanship, pirate vessel, underground complex. And again, you got these structures. This like it looks like an island in the distance.
Mhm.
Uh,
The ring sphere of energy type thing. I really think that's going to show up. And that's all. Awesome work, man.
yeah, thanks. Interesting target. Tough target to navigate for
Yeah.
sure. I was struggling, but again, it was a good challenge. I mean, when Jeff was talking about recognizing a conceptual target, targets like this are good for that because you remember, this reminds me of, hey, I remember that Moana target where, and there was a point in the whiteboard where I actually said, I wonder if this is a movie. And that's why I'm having such a hard time with this. And sure enough, it
And
was.
you were
But
probably like, no, I was just talking to him like weeks ago about doing a movie.
well, there's a time like when you know how it is when you're in the groove, like it just feels right. And then I was
Mhm.
telling Dave, like I'll pick up the session and I'll be like, ooh, there's almost too much paper here. Like I, like I sometimes I feel like, there's too much paper. I must have passed up my exit.
Yeah.
But you get what you can. I mean, not all of them are,
We got 2 more sessions if you guys want to stick around for them. Orion did a recording and I tossed it through Otter AI to get the transcript. And then I asked ChatGPT to do the summary and main points. So he used a self-hypnosis technique to kind of get into that. He encountered a surreal cave-like structure filled with symbolic sculptured walls and encountered an angelic presence, offering them choices among 5 items. Choosing a white glove, the viewer experiences a physical sensation akin to transformation, like transmogrifying. The session continues with exploration of a crystal containing colored lines representing the cumulative experiences of different lifetimes. The viewer engages deeply with various emotional and symbolic experiences tied to these colors, including moments of critical decision making, playful energy, and cosmic cycles of creation and destruction. Throughout, they question the implications of free will, power dynamics, and the nature of souls, exploring a metaphysical realm where energy is recycled through black holes or wormholes. There's the whole energy vortex element leading to the continual formation of new galaxies and experiences, kind of like creation. Despite self-doubt about staying on task, the session is rich in abstract insights into universal systems and personal transformation. I love ChatGPT that it can just do that. And yeah, he got a lot of the same stuff that we were talking about here. Any questions on his session? I think he's going to post it to his channel.
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean that's interesting, Orion. I like how you ran it to the chat GTP. It's really interesting. So you've got this underground cave structure. You've got the metaphysical ancestors. You've got this villain of the story. I mean, there's a lot of overlap.
Souls, vortexy energy stuff.
Yeah.
And I do think he's going to put it on his channel, so that'll be to look out for. Probably be the whole raw recording. Next up, we have Nina Kachina. She couldn't make it today, but we're going to run through her stuff. So we got structures, life forms, many life forms, panic, inside, which was another theme, plastic,
Hey,
complex. Yeah,
can you go back to that first picture?
yeah,
Does that look like it's inside a room and there's a door and a window?
definitely looks that way.
And those look like chairs that are lying down. Okay. I
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure.
This is very interesting that there's the vertical thing descending, but everybody kind of had this angled passageway, right? That's something that I thought was very familiar there. A complex structure, which complex inside, departing blue, metallic, box-like, modern
Look-
beige.
But look at the number of people that were in that tube. There's 5 people. So again,
Five.
that's a pretty magic number. And the tube going up is also going to a square box. So to me, it looks like 5 people ascending a tube going through something into a square
Down.
box.
And Orion mentioned there's 5 things, like 5 sort of challenges.
Yeah.
That's giving me vibes of Agatha all along. I think they had 5 witches and there were 5 trials in the show.
Oh, interesting. That reminds me of my Diamond AOL and Jupiter AOL. Yeah.
Yeah, Silky, didn't you have all those roundy
Yes.
spirals close together?
Yes, I had.
Downwards, away, depart, under, escape, steady motion, blue, green, shimmery, leaving situation, calmly, directional, knowing where they're going inside the structure. Everyone's talking about inside the structure. Inside, downwards, quiet. This is stage 4. Many life forms, entering, leaving. Whoops. Escaped. It's like a school classroom, which kind of implies there's some lesson being learned. To deconstruct that AOL. Water, under, sonar, pulsing.
I wonder if that isn't like some of these objects, like this, if there isn't some kind of magical artifact or something that comes into play at some point.
Feminine.
It's gonna be wild
There's,
to watch it.
yeah. The blonde hair is interesting because it's Polynesian, but Arman also had blonde hair in there as well. Looking over shoulders, panic, orange, red, shorts, sporty, warm sweater. Why is she looking over her shoulder, looking out for a small group of men? That would definitely imply Moana. 4 or 5 of them, official, suspicious, men in blue. People are escaping. Why? Men are leaving also. A woman is outside the structure, open air corridor, roof but no wall. What am I missing? Men in blue, vehicles quietly, calmly departing. Where are they going? An underground base. It's a secret spot, searching for something. What? They have a smirk on their face. They're up to no good. There is that. Whose session? I'm like losing track of sessions. Was that you, David? Where there was some sort of element of nefarious double stuff. I was mentioning the relation to Frozen, where we think that somebody's good, but they actually have some like evil back intention.
Yeah.
Yeah. Officials implies there's some sort of government hierarchy structure that also seems to relate to all of the military leadership component stuff that we've heard. What important info does the tasker need to know? What was it they found? An underground base and water. That seems to be what we're all talking about. And what would they regret at the end of the session now? Submarine. So it seems like it's underground water stuff, very reminiscent of Moana.
Maybe a prison.
Any final comments on Nina's work?
That was a nice session. I just want to say I cannot get over how we're remote viewing moving photograph. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. like during the session, there was a time I'm like, gosh, I feel like I'm on the water. And I was telling Dave, I go, how can I feel like I'm on the water? I'm not. There's no water. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have this, but for some reason, our intuition kicks this up in a way to present it, even though it's not there. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wild. I've done Santa Claus North Pole, and there's something there, but it's not there, but it's there in consciousness or whatever. It's wild.
Yeah, it's amazing. Because for the longest time, like I would tell Dave, I'm like, I can't. Like if something like this, if we were just talking and we didn't say, I'd say, yeah, it's not going to work because that's not real. It's not. I'm going to struggle with whatever, and I did struggle with it, but my own intuition did better than I thought it would in the sense of, well, you're right. There's not water there, but I'm going to give you that impression so you could push that across the, across the board as a data point or whatever.
Yeah. A lens that you can understand it through. That's really what it's neat.
I was impressed with everybody's work. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
So I
When does the movie
did.
come out?
Oh, what was that?
When does the movie come out?
November 27th.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be here soon. That's why I kind of like tasked it now. I'll just run over mine real quick. I technically like F4, F5 on my front loading skill because I know what it is, but technically I don't know what it is. I hadn't seen the trailer or anything. I just sat here and kind of started unfolding. I thought it was going to be like a quick 5 minute, just jot my notes down. I think it was like 30 minutes or something. So in it, I got described a vision for the possible sequel Moana, which includes themes of exploration, conflict, and unity. The plot centers on Moana encountering a young princely figure on a new island where initial tensions give way to collaboration. The island is in turmoil due to spiritual and environmental imbalances, requiring Moana and the prince to undertake a journey that mirrors both mythological trials and personal growth. That's when I showed Orion that we were like had like the same thing there. Throughout, Moana embodies the divine feminine, helping the prince through trials in the underworld, symbolized by a volcano and five challenges. I also had the five. Their eventual partnership leads to the unification of Polynesian islands and the resolution of the island's crises, culminating in a dramatic escape as the island is destroyed and reborn. The session blends elements of personal growth, mythical challenges, and joining of masculine and feminine energies to restore balance. Once again, I was not blind, but I did like chat GPT stuff here, like what I saw. This wasn't as intense. It was more like she's just like standing off the side of it with her hand in the water. And I think that was already kind of confirmed. I had this very steep mountainous thing, kind of like the first one, but she like showed up on the shore. And when she
Is this
showed
from
up,
the second? Are these screen images from the second one? From the
this
new
is
one?
Mid Journey. This is
Oh, okay.
so I
Okay.
took what I was
I got you. Yeah.
describing
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
and
I got you.
basic, yeah. So when she shows up at this
It's so
new
good.
island location, they're like upset with her and they kind of take her to this king leader dude guy who we don't know about quite yet. And then they kind of sit there and talk. And as they're in this building, an earthquake happens in the session. And in the new trailer they already released, it's not this king, it's her dad. And there's a thunderbolt goes right down the middle and like everything shakes. That was kind of it. I had this underground ringed portal thing that the two of them go into. And when they walk through this vortex, that takes them down to the underworld where they encounter those five challenges with like large statues and ornate drawings and stuff underground. There's the green, mossy, disgusting feeling. There's some sort of like weird mystical smoke.
You got the big giant guy too.
Hmm. Huge.
Makes me wonder if there is. Yeah,
It's like a stone structure that I think I described as very reminiscent of Tomb Raider, which if you remember Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie, there's these big like gargoyle-like structures that come to life. There's something like that. And then anytime that I get a green mist, which Orion also had, it implies some sort of magic thing is going on. While they're down there, the island basically just starts to explode and they have to like make a quick escape. So they run away, and because Moana's group was there, they all go onto the boats, but ultimately whoever's culture they went to, it gets destroyed. And then this was the part that I thought was funny is I had the two people join together and like they basically have some sort of awesome romance thing that happens. And Midjourney was funny about that. I also saw from above the various the curvature of the earth with the islands and stuff. And then they basically go off and conquer the whole area where she kind of becomes like the matriarchal queen of not just her island, but like she reunites everything. And that was already a theme that the new Ireland one discussed. So, fun stuff.
It's going to be neat to see because I guarantee there's literally going to be screenshot like when the movie when the movie comes out where you can match this up with that. I guarantee it.
I think we have quite a few that we're possibly going to see a real screen grab, which is good.
Yeah.
If I didn't, I think there's only two trailers out. Maybe there's more, but I will share that one from Disney Ireland out now.
Yeah, very cool, Dave. Fun project, man.
Very fun.
Anything else? Or we pretty much covered it all? We're gonna get, what was our joke that if we get hit with a DMCA strike for being too accurate. That's kind of like the goal of these future projects.
Yeah, maybe if we just keep spoiling all the Disney movies, they'll pay us not to release early trailers of their own films.
I think they'll just kill us.
we're releasing the previews 2 years before their trailers.
I don't know. I think we should do a view on the next Alien movie to see if it's any good and worth the money, because
when I talked to Dave, you mind if I tell them this, Dave? About
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. When I first talked to him, says, I'm a big Marvel fan. I would love to see how they're going to bring Tony Stark back into the fray as Doctor Doom, but obviously we're talking about it, so I couldn't, I couldn't be blind to it if he did that. So then he, time goes by and he turns around and he pulls Moana out. But yeah, it was fun. It makes me wonder how I would do in just a typical movie setting. Like, does the cartoon going from 2D to 3D, is it like another layer of confusion? Would it be easier? But it's a great experiment. A lot of fun.
You could call it like future reviews or something.
Hey, Dave.
Yep.
I have a insider in the Hollywood scene, and it would be interesting if I guess I could show her this clip. Once you're done organizing everything, I can send her this clip. But it would be kind of interesting to have an unknown title and have everybody completely blind, and then do
fully blind. Yeah.
Yeah, fully blind.
That'd be great.
Because she has all the details on what's going on. We just ship everything to her after we sit and do the sessions. And then it'd be interesting to see how close we can get with a completely blind session.
Yeah.
Another thing too is if it's written or if it's not written. I had a friend who did a project on a painting where they remote viewed what this painter painted.
That's cool.
Before they painted it.
That's so cool.
And but the painter themselves, after it was all revealed at the same time, he was conflicted because he didn't know who actually painted the painting, because he was kind of like a floral painting type of typically, and he ended up painting these sharks, which was completely out of character. So there was some kind of dynamic happening between the remote viewer and the painter themselves influencing the outcome of that painting. So it makes you wonder, like, if we went way ahead on something, we could actually, like, before it's written, we could actually be influencing the outcome of that story.
Well, that would be nice, because then we can actually influence Hollywood to make better movies. I mean,
yeah,
because the dribble they put out now, I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, that'd be interesting if we could remote influence one of these movies to include some sort of element or a symbol or something.
Something very clear and defined that wouldn't be there. Yeah, it speaks to the nature of it.
Is that Dave in a miniskirt back there? What is he doing in this movie? Just like something really obscure. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, dude, if we could get your chair in a movie and actually influence to get that chair.
It already is, man. Stargate already revealed it. What Jeff's referring to is like when you do a temple meditation, sometimes you get to a point where there's a chair and it like shoots you off and stuff. I don't know if I uploaded it to my YouTube channel, but I've had it a few times now. And Jeff does this thing called a ride along where you are great with it, where you describe what is around you and then you tell them to go take an action, like open a door. Then from that point on, you're blind. And I did that to you and you totally nailed it.
Yeah, I would actually like to take all of you guys on a little walkabout that me and Dave went on. I don't know how you guys would all react to it, but maybe on a later session.
Yeah.
It would be a lot of fun.
I always wonder, do the creators of The Simpsons have remote viewers? I mean,
they just have a time machine, a real time machine.
Just straight up.
Well, considering what we're doing, isn't it very possible that they are literally remote viewing the future? I mean, there's no reason to even think that they're not, because it's so incredibly simple to do it. So why wouldn't they be
100%.
Remote viewing?
And they probably have tech too, right? Augmented tech that allows them to make it easier. We're working on that. We'll see if our tech works out.
Well, if you actually
That's
come
actually a secret.
well, no, if you guys actually come across something like a helmet I could put on, because I mean, I've been really sucking. So you guys got to help me out here, man.
We just may. It's still in the works, but yeah, sit tight.
All right, guys, I got to take off, but good chatting
Same.
with y'all. Nice meeting
All right.
you.
Yeah.
The
All
Underground
right. Good night,
Spool,
everybody. Good
Moana
seeing you.
2. That's a wrap.
That was fun. Thanks.
You.
Thanks,
Okay.
everyone.
Another day.